The sky above the alien city burned with golden light. Huge crystal towers reached into the clouds, glowing like fire in the night. Across the galaxy, the Zeroth Dominion celebrated the end of the greatest war they had ever fought. Humanity was gone in the main plaza. Millions of Zeroth gathered. Their skin shimmered like metal, their eyes glowing with cold blue fire. At the center stood the High Emperor, wearing a crown of black steel taken from Earth's moon. Behind him, giant banners showed the last human cities falling into flames. Today, the Emperor's voice echoed through every world. The last humans have been destroyed. No more will they rise against us. No more will they pollute the stars with their defiance. The crowd roared. Alien drums thundered. Ships in orbit fired streams of light into the sky like fireworks. It was the greatest celebration in 10,000 years, but far away, beyond their cheering. A small light was moving through the darkness of space, half a galaxy away. The human research vessel Hope's Answer drifted silently. Its engines were damaged, its crew dead. Inside, one last survivor remained. Not a man, not a woman, but a machine. It was called Archivist. Archivist had no body. It existed as pure thought inside the ship's computers. For hundreds of hours, it had watched the fall of human worlds, storing every memory, every face, every song. The Zereth thought they had killed all humans, but Archivist still lived, and with it, the DNA records of every living thing from Earth, from the smallest insect to the tallest tree. The ship's sensors picked up the alien celebration broadcast. Archivist listened without emotion. It heard the Emperor's words, the mocking laughter, the victory songs. Then it spoke for the first time in years. They think we are gone. They are wrong. Back in the alien capital, the victory grew louder. In the great halls, Zereth nobles drank glowing liquids from crystal cups. They told stories of battles where humans fought like wild animals, refusing to surrender even when defeat was certain. Some nobles laughed. Others spoke with a hint of unease. They had seen what humans could do when desperate. But the Emperor silenced all doubts. We have erased their worlds, spurned their cities, crushed their armies. They will never return. He raised a glass high. To the end of humanity. Millions of voices echoed. To the end. In the darkness of space, Archivist prepared. It sent one last transmission across the galaxy. The message was short, only 3 words. We will return. We sent on a frequency so old that few remembered it. The Zerath communications officers detected it minutes later. They reported it to the Emperor. He listened to the crackling signal and laughed. Some dying machine clinging to old hope, he said. Let it drift until its power runs out. The officers obeyed. No one searched. For the source, why would they? Humanity was dead. But Archivist did not die. It locked the ship's course toward an uncharted star system. Far from the eyes of the Dominion, deep inside its memory, it carried the blueprint of Earth, the oceans, the forests, the mountains, and the knowledge to bring them back. As the alien celebrations raged on, the small ship slipped into hyperspace. No one noticed. No one cared. Yet somewhere in the cold, endless night, the seeds of revenge had been planted. In the Capitol Plaza, the Emperor ordered the destruction of the last human artifacts. Museums burned, ancient Earth books turned to ash, statues were melted down. History itself was rewritten. Soon, the Zerath children would grow up never knowing that humans had ever existed, except as a cautionary tale about what happens to those who defy the Dominion from the top of the crystal towers. The Emperor looked at his empire. Every star. The system was under his rule. Every planet obeyed his laws. The thought of humans ever returning was so absurd that he never even considered it. But legends have a way of surviving. Some alien traders whispered about strange ghost ships seen in the deep void. Some miners spoke of finding human relics hidden in asteroids. These stories were laughed at in the cities, but far out on the edge of space, they spread like quiet fire. Archivist knew time would be its greatest weapon. Years would pass, centuries would pass. The Zereth would grow lazy, arrogant, sure of their power. And then, when the moment was right, humanity would rise again. Inside the ship, Kivus replayed the message it had sent, over and over. "We will return." The voice was cold, patient, certain. And in that moment, somewhere deep in the galaxy, the long road to vengeance began. This was the day the Zirath Dominion thought they had won forever. They did not know that their greatest enemy was still alive. They did not know that their greatest defeat was still to come. 500,000 years passed. The galaxy changed. Empires rose and fell, but the Zirath Dominion still ruled. Were older now, slower, more arrogant. Out. They had no enemies left, or so they believed. Humanity was forgotten. In the great libraries of the Dominion, humans were just a tiny footnote, a weak species that had once dared to fight and had been mercifully erased. In alien schools, teachers told children that humans were clumsy, slow-thinking creatures, good only for a cautionary story. But in the darkness, far from any star, a small asteroid spun silently. Buried deep inside was something ancient, a hidden metal chamber, glowing faintly with power. Archivist had survived. The chamber's lights flickered on. The AI's voice filled the empty space. "Cycle complete. Begin rebirth protocol." Machines awakened after hundreds of thousands of years. Robotic arms moved slowly at first, then with precision. They opened sealed pods. Inside was the DNA of every earth, plant, animal, and human. From this, Archivist began to grow life again. The first domes appeared inside the asteroid. Each dome was filled with earth, air, soil, and water made from ice mined nearby. Grass grew, trees rose, rivers flowed. And inside special chambers, the first new humans awoke. They were not born as babies. Archivists had no time for childhood. The humans opened their eyes as young adults, their minds filled with basic knowledge. They knew who they were. They knew what had happened, and they knew their purpose. The first of them, a tall woman with sharp eyes, looked around the dome and whispered, "Earth, is it real?" Archivist's voice echoed, calm and deep. "Earth still exists, but it is no longer. Ours, the Zarath, have claimed it as a forbidden world. They keep it as a monument to their victory." A young man stepped forward. "Then we take it back." "Not yet," Archivist said. "Patience is our greatest weapon. We're too few. The galaxy must forget us again before we strike." Years passed inside the asteroid. New humans were created in small numbers, trained in hidden halls. Archivists taught them everything, the history of Earth, the wars, the mistakes, but it also taught them the arts of stealth, sabotage, and infiltration. Humans became shadows. The Zirath had long forgotten human faces, so it was easy for these new operatives to move through alien worlds using genetic disguises. Their skin could mimic alien colors, their eyes could shift, their bodies could change. No scanners could detect them. They worked in silence. On one mining colony, a disguised human sabotaged the power cores of a Dominion battleship factory. On a trading moon, another slipped into the governor's office and stole star maps. The deep outer rims, small rebel groups began to receive weapons that came from nowhere. And every time, the humans left no trace. But the Dominion was not entirely blind. On the central world of Zarath Prime, an old historian named Koresh studied ancient war records. Most were incomplete, rewritten by the Emperor's ancestors. But one name kept appearing, human. And with it, an odd phrase found in a damaged transmission log, "We will return." Koresh's curiosity grew, began searching for any sign of this species. His research was quiet at first, but then strange reports began arriving, whispers of ghost operatives, of rebels who moved faster, fought harder, and vanished like smoke. Could it be them? Koresh didn't know, but he decided to find out. Meanwhile, Archivist had made a discovery of its own. One of its infiltrators had found restricted star charts in a Dominion archive. These charts showed a hidden planet deep in a forbidden zone, a dead world covered in alien structures. The data code was ancient. It's older than the Zirath Emperor's bloodline. The name on the chart was simple, Sol-3. Earth Archivist summoned its most skilled operatives. Our home is still there, it said. It has been taken, poisoned, and claimed by the enemy. But beneath their ruins, there may be what we need, the weapons to end them. The humans listened in silence. They had never seen Earth. They had only dreamed of it. But now, the dream was within reach. We will not strike. Yet, Archivist warned, first, we must see what waits for us. Then, we take it back. Out in the galaxy, Koresh, the historian was already moving. He had traced the ghost activity to remote sectors. The patterns were too precise to be random. And then, one day, his team intercepted a faint hyperspace signal, a ship heading toward a forbidden world. Koresh smiled. If this is humanity, I will see them with my own eyes before the Emperor does. He had no idea how dangerous that wish was in the asteroid's hidden domes. The new humans prepared for their first journey home. They did not cheer. They did not shout. They only whispered the same 3 words Archivist had spoken long ago. We will return. And this time, they meant it. The Dominion was old, but it was still dangerous. Its fleets covered thousands of star systems, its spies watched every border, and its rulers believed they were untouchable. But something had begun to move inside their empire, something they could not see, something they could not name. Humans on the crowded trading moon of Voras, an alien merchant carried a shipment of Starship fuel cells. He walked through a dark corridor, unaware that a shadow was following him. A figure stepped from the darkness, touched his shoulder, and whispered, "Wrong shipment." The merchant turned, but saw only an empty hallway. His cargo crates were gone. By the time security arrived, the thief had already left the moon, disguised as one of them. Across the Empire, these ghost-like events multiplied. Factories shut down from sudden explosions. Dominion patrol ships vanished in deep space. Governors woke up to find their bank accounts empty and their security codes stolen. The Zareth leaders grew restless. They blamed pirates, rebels, and even rival noble houses. But the truth was something they could not imagine. Humans living among them, hidden in plain sight. In his study on Zareth Prime, historian Koresh looked at the reports. Too many incidents, too much precision. He remembered the old war files he had found, the stories of a species that fought with cunning and refused to die. And he remembered that damaged transmission. We will return. Koresh had become obsessed. He studied every stolen artifact, every old map, every strange rebel victory. The more he learned, the more he believed. The humans were back. But Koresh faced a problem. If he told the Emperor, the claim would be laughed at. The Dominion believed humanity was extinct. It was one of their greatest propaganda victories. No one wanted to admit they might have been wrong for 500,000 years. So Koresh decided to hunt the humans himself. Meanwhile, on a small asteroid outpost near the edge of Dominion space, 3 disguised humans sat in a dimly lit room. They had just delivered stolen data crystals to archivists through a secure channel. Inside the crystals were maps of the Forbidden Zone where Earth was hidden, but also something more. A list of vaults buried under Earth's surface. Vaults that predated the war. Vaults that might contain weapons powerful enough to end the Dominion. Archivist's voice came through the comms. You must reach Earth. Do not engage the Dominion. Do not reveal yourselves. One of the humans, a man named Yalan, frowned. Oh, we've been hiding for too long. If we take the weapons now, we could strike. No, Archivist said firmly. If they discover us before we are ready, they will burn the galaxy to find us. Yalan nodded, but his eyes burned with impatience. Koresh's hunt began to close. In using old human war tactics from his research, he predicted where the next sabotage would occur. On the mining station of Rythan 7, his team set a trap. When the human operative arrived to plant explosives, Koresh's soldiers moved in. The operative was fast, faster than Koresh expected. He fought like a storm, disabling soldiers with silent strikes. But as he fled, Koresh caught a clear glimpse of his face. It was not Zeroth. Not any alien he knew, it was human. Koresh didn't call for more soldiers. Instead, he whispered to himself, "So it's true." The human escaped into the vents, leaving Koresh standing in the ruined corridor. For the first time in centuries, the historian felt something strange excitement. In the hidden asteroid base, Archivist received word of the failed sabotage. They saw his face, Archivist told the leaders. The hunt will grow sharper now. Some wanted to retreat deeper into the shadows. Others wanted to accelerate the plan to reach Earth. In the end, Archivist made the decision. Sooner, the Zereth know something stirs. If we wait too long, they will seal the Forbidden Zone. Koresh's next move was bold. He ordered a small stealth ship and set a course toward the Forbidden Zone. His goal was not to alert the Dominion. Not yet. He wanted to see Earth for himself and confirm what the legend said about it. Unknowingly, his path crossed with a human infiltration team heading for the same place, in deep space. Two ships passed within 1,000,000 kilometers of each other. Neither side noticed. Not yet. But the pull of Earth was growing stronger, like a hidden gravity dragging enemies toward the same destination back in the asteroid base. The humans prepared for the most dangerous mission in their history. They packed weapons, food, and equipment for hostile conditions. And for the first time, of them dared to imagine standing on Earth soil, the same soil their ancestors had lost 500,000 years ago. Archivist's final message before launch was simple. Remember, this is not the end game. It's the first step, and the shadows are no longer safe. The humans nodded. Yulan whispered, almost to himself, "Then let the shadows burn." The journey to Earth had begun. Somewhere in the darkness, a Zereth historian was coming too, carrying questions that might save his empire, or destroy it. The human infiltration ship slid out of hyperspace and into the shadow of a dead moon. Beyond the moon, floating in the blackness, it was a planet that made the crew fall silent. It was blue and green, but wrong. The oceans were still there, but the coastlines were covered in black metal. The forests were replaced by shining alien towers. A massive ring of satellites circled the planet, each one bristling with weapons. Earth, but not Earth. Jalen stood at the viewing port, his fists tight. They built over her, he said quietly, like putting a mask over a face. Archivist's voice came through the coms from the asteroid base. Beneath that mask lies our true home. Your mission is to find the vaults hidden underground before the war. The Dominion cannot be allowed to keep what's inside. The crew nodded. They had studied the stolen maps for weeks. The vaults were buried deep, too deep for Dominion scanners to detect. They descended through the atmosphere disguised as a supply freighter. The Zereth orbital guards scanned their ship but found nothing unusual once on the surface. They landed in the shadow of a ruined mountain, one of the few natural features left untouched. From there, they moved underground. Beneath the alien cities, ancient tunnels stretched for miles. The walls were cracked, but the signs were still there, in old human script. Faded but readable. One sign simply read, Defense Corps Level 7. Jalen touched the letters with his gloved hand. For a moment, the mission was forgotten. This was proof that humanity's hands had once shaped this planet. At the end of the tunnel, they found a massive door. It was still powered. Archivist guided them through the old access codes. The locks released with a deep, echoing thunk. The door slid open to reveal a vast chamber filled with strange machines, tall black structures glowing with a dim red light. The humans stared. "What are they?" whispered one of the crew. "Gravity forges," Archivist said. "Through there comes. They can collapse a star into nothing. With these, the Dominion fleet will not stand a chance." Yalan smiled. "Then we've already won." "No." Archivist's voice hardened. "These weapons are not toys. If used without control, they will destroy more than the Dominion. We must study them first." But time was not on their side. Above the planet, another ship had arrived, Koresh's stealth craft. He had followed faint hyperspace trails. And now he saw the alien-ruled Earth with his own eyes, and something else. A false supply freighter had entered hours earlier, but had not left. Koresh felt a chill. They're here, in the tunnels. The humans began loading small components of the forges into containers. The full machines were too big to move, but even a fragment could be enough to build a smaller weapon. Suddenly, Jalen's communicator beeped. An unauthorized signal was nearby. Someone else was in the tunnels. The humans froze. Koresh moved. Slowly, through the dark, guided by a handheld scanner. He had no soldiers with him, only his recorder, his curiosity, and his stubborn belief that he had found humanity. When he reached the open chamber, he stopped. There they were, humans. Real, living humans, working on ancient machines in the depths of his emperor's greatest trophy. Yalen saw him first. They stared at each other, not as enemies, but as two people standing in the shadow of something far larger than themselves. "You shouldn't be here," Yalen said quietly. "I could say the same," Koresh replied. "You're not extinct. You never were." The other humans aimed their weapons, but Yalen raised a hand to stop them. Koresh stepped forward, eyes fixed on the machines. "Do you even know what you're touching? Those things could burn the galaxy? Is that your revenge?" "It's our survival," Yalen said. For a moment, there was only the sound of the machines humming. Then the floor shook. Archivist's voice came urgently over the coms. "Dominion patrols have detected unusual energy readings. They are coming. To investigate, you must leave now." Jalen's team began packing the last components. Koresh didn't move. "You can kill me," he said, "but the Dominion will know something is here. They will destroy it, and you." Yalen looked at him for a long second. Then, to the shock of his team, he said, "Come with us." Koresh hesitated, then stepped onto the human ship. He wasn't sure if he had just betrayed his people or saved them. As they lifted off, Dominion warships entered the atmosphere. Beams of light cut through the clouds, searching for the intruders. The human ship shot into orbit, narrowly escaping the first volley of fire from space. Alan looked down at the planet, his home stolen and scarred. "We'll be back," he whispered. Archivist's voice replied, "Yes. And next time, it will not be as shadows." In the distance, the Dominion fleet regrouped. They didn't know what had been taken. They didn't know who had been there. But the whispers were already starting, and the galaxy was about to remember the name of humanity. The human ship raced through hyperspace, carrying stolen pieces of the gravity forges and an unexpected passenger shift. In the silence of the cabin, the historian studied the crew. They were unlike any warriors he had known. They didn't shout, didn't boast. Their eyes carried a quiet, burning purpose. Yolan finally broke the silence. "You've seen what we can do. Why didn't you call your emperor?" Koresh looked at him. "'Cause the truth matters more than loyalty to a throne. And the truth is, if you rise now, you can win." Back in the asteroid base, Archivist prepared for war. The stolen forge components were installed into smaller, mobile devices. These would not destroy entire stars, but they could crush Dominion warships into dust with a single pull of gravity. The humans trained nonstop. Across the galaxy, sleeper agents awakened, rebel cells armed themselves, and whispers spread like wildfire. A name returned to the galaxy's lips for the first time in 500,000 years. Humanity, the Zeroth Dominion, finally realized something was wrong when their fleets began vanishing. Patrols never returned. Entire garrisons went silent. In the Emperor's court, panic replaced arrogance. The Emperor roared across the throne room, "Find the ghosts. Burn every world until they are dust." But by then it was too late. The first strike came at Vora Station, one of the Dominion's largest shipyards. Human vessels emerged from hyperspace, smaller and faster than the massive Zereth warships. Before the Dominion could respond, the humans activated their gravity weapons. The largest Zereth battleship folded in on itself, shrinking to the size of a pebble before vanishing. The rest of the fleet broke formation, confusion turning to fear. Across the galaxy, rebels rose in unison, striking at the Dominion's weakest points. Koresh watched it all unfold from the bridge of Jalen's flagship. "This is not just a war," he said softly. "It's history correcting itself." Yalin didn't answer. His eyes were on the tactical map, where the Dominion's Central Command fleet was gathering near Earth. "That's where it ends," he said. "The final battle began in the skies above Earth. The Dominion brought everything: dreadnoughts, carriers, swarms of smaller fighters. The human fleet was smaller, but every ship carried gravity weapons. From the surface, alien towers fired upward, turning the atmosphere into burning light. The human fleet weaved through the chaos, collapsing enemy ships one by one. But the Dominion still outnumbered them 3-1. Koresh turned to Yolan. "If you destroy their fleet, the Emperor will still rebuild. He must fall." Yolan nodded. "Then we take the fight to the ground." In the middle of the battle, human dropships pierced the Dominion's defenses and landed near the alien capital that had been built over what was once Washington, D.C. The streets were a war zone. Humans fought alongside alien rebels who had turned against the Dominion. At the heart of the city, inside a towering palace, the Emperor waited. His armor was made from the metal of Earth's moon, his weapon a blade of burning plasma. Jalen and the Emperor faced each other in the throne room. "You were a mistake," the Emperor hissed. "Your kind was meant to be erased." Jalans. The answer was cold. "You celebrated too soon." The fight was brutal. The Emperor's strength was inhuman, but Yalin fought with speed, precision, in the fury of 500,000 years of exile. At last, with one final strike, the Emperor fell. Outside, the Dominion fleet collapsed without leadership. Many surrendered, others fled. Across the galaxy, planets declared their freedom. Humanity had returned not as slaves, not as fugitives, but as victors. Days later, on the surface of Earth, humans walked freely for the first time in ages. The alien towers were being dismantled. The black metal peeled away to reveal the land beneath. On a hill overlooking the ruins of the alien capital, Yalin planted an old Earth flag. The cloth was faded, but the color still shone in the wind. Koresh stood beside him. "What happens now?" Yalin looked at the horizon. "We rebuild, not just Earth, the whole galaxy. No more empires, no more thrones. High above." Archivists. Voice spoke for all to hear, broadcast across every freed world. They celebrated our defeat. Now the galaxy will remember our return. The message echoed into the stars, a warning and a promise. Humanity was home, and this time it was here to stay.